Meaning of the English idiom, take something with a grain of salt. Also used with a pinch of salt. To take something with a grain of salt means to be skeptical about it, to not consider something to be completely true or correct, to have reservations about something. Usage of idiom. Usually, this idiom is not used to say something is an outright lie, but that it's exaggerated or only partly correct. Examples of use. I take his wild stories with a grain of salt. He likes to be the center of attention. You should take lists of common idioms with a grain of salt, as they are not based on any solid data. Sarah says she has pneumonia, so she can't come to work. Take that with a grain of salt. She probably has a common cold. Origin of idiom. To take something with a grain of salt is one of many salt-related expressions in English and many other languages, along with many salt-related superstitions. As for idioms, the idiom worth one's salt and salt of the earth are two familiar examples. But why should a grain of salt allude to skepticism or disbelief? Some scholars think that the idiom began in Roman times, coming from the Latin cum grano salis, attributed to Pliny the Elder. Pliny, in Natural History from the 1st century BC, told a tale about Pompey, who, when he took over the palace of Mithridates, discovered a poison antidote composed of various ingredients. This antidote was to be taken while fasting, cum grano salis, or with a grain of salt. To this day, a Mithridate is another word for an antidote to poison. So the modern idiom, according to this theory, came from the idea that a grain of salt protected one from poison, which transferred eventually to protecting one from undue acceptance of misinformation or untrue, misleading, or exaggerated statements. In English, this idiom appears in print as early as the 1600s. Another popular claim is that the original intention was not to figuratively invoke protection, but seasoning. That is, a grain of salt is all it takes to improve the flavor of food and make it go down a bit easier. This means the allusion may have originally been to making untruthful statements easier to swallow. And in fact, we have another idiom, hard to swallow, which means hard to believe.